Hexacanth! Why is the price down again, Hexacanth? Why do you fag your own bag, Hexacanth? That is actually not directly Ivan on Tech. That is Cairo doing Ivan on Tech. Try to model it after him. Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday. Had to get one of those. Hexacans in. It's gonna be one of those streams. And yeah, it's a beautiful day in Hexaco. I don't know why people keep saying I keep hearing, I don't know, maybe I've just like muted and blocked so many people, unfortunately. But again, gotta keep the peace as much as possible. Peace is good. Peace good. The either capitulations or just people leaving or just the constant fudding of the bags. It is kind of strange. I think we're in a strange time right now in PulseChain. It's I want to say it's the pre-glory time, which I do believe, but it's this weird, like, people just don't know what to do. They don't know what to think. The ability of hope and belief is much lower. And I think I was one tweet late, or one tweet early for the last shakeout. A few weeks ago, I tweeted, I think this is the last shakeout. I think everyone basically who's left who was going to lead PulseChain is left. It looked like with the marketing, we're making a big turn and to the upside, which I think we still are. I mean, the market's been awesome so far, and I'm excited to see the new posts and stuff coming out on that. But it's just one of those. It's like, man, how is it? I don't know how you don't see the light at this point. Very strange indeed. So yeah, let me know how you're feeling out there too, because I know there's plenty of well-intentioned people who don't know what to think. They feel like they put in a lot of time and effort. They're trying to hang in there and just not seeing a lot of progress. And then there's also just people who are just literally here. They appear to be, from the actions I've I tried to avoid seeing. I don't even want to see, but every once in a while I'll just be like, man, are there people just here just to cause chaos, just to FUD? Like, their whole mission, they keep talking about, how Richard failed and they're, ran away with all our money, and like the whole, greatest hits of, pointing the finger and not wanting to wait and having expectations and all this stuff. Each of which I could make a compelling case to why in a normal crypto environment you would have such expectations, but we're not in one of those, thankfully. But it just seems like this whole mission of just not even wanting to see PulseChain succeed, like doing what they can to make sure it doesn't succeed, and like this will, like, no, Richard cannot win because of some perceived wrong. It's very strange. Not good, no bueno. And yeah, I just hope that, I don't even know. I've said this the last couple of streams, but I don't have any expectations for what PulseChain is going to do anytime soon, or Hex either. I think this whole marketing thing is amazing, step in the right direction. The macros are going to do what the macros do. Some people look at it and think it's really bullish out there, but it's going to take some time. And in the meantime, why not go out and enjoy it? Like, it must just be, I mean, there's the whole emotional side of it, and there's the logical side. The logical side is, believe in your bags or not, you're either in PulseChain or you're not. Like, if you're in between, that's just going to cause like confusion and just like, just going to be frustrated. Could just be frustrated stuff from that. But if you're in it and you believe in the mission and you believe that, the billionaire founder genius guy is just not going away, that there's plenty of good reasons why he's engaging as much as he feels appropriate right now to do, and that this community is strong enough to carry us to the finish line. Like, that's a very hopeful, logical, rational, way of looking at it. And just this uncertainty, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt that creeps in, just, I don't know, just seems to make people just do things that are just, I'm not talking about anyone particularly. Nobody on my mind really right now, just talking generally, the general effects of like, do things either out of character, out of frustration, and just not helping. So it is strange. It is a strange time on PulseChain, and the community. What I want to talk about too is the ability to. Yeah, I really do feel like there is this change in the community. I think once we went from Hex to PulseChain, we went to Hex. We all love this token on Ethereum. To, okay, great, we're going to launch PulseChain and we're going to have our own network and it's going to open up this mecca of DeFi and we're going to be able to do all these amazing things. That was a huge trade-off. Like, there is no clear right answer. Everything's just going to be good forever type of things. And the shakeout that has happened between the sacrifices and up to now, up to the what I believe we're in the pre-glory phase. God, I should come up with a better name for that. It's hard to say. Pre-glory phase. It's just been, it's been massive, but I think there is some like really cool things to pull from that. I mean, it sucks to see pain and suffering, people in the community leaving, not having a good time, infighting, the drama, all the stuff that I try to avoid, do not have time for, do not have brain power to go through. I'm here for good faith discussions and engagement, as I tend to go through with debates and all that stuff. Everything else, noise. I do not want to be part of that, disengage from. And I focus on, again, what I think I can do and what I like to do in the ecosystem. Sovereign individual. Everyone do whatever they want, right? But how it's changed from being Hex, Hex token, into, even before PulseChain, people were building stuff that, everyone's kind of forgot. There was this copy of all the coins that landed on PulseChain from Ethereum. And there was all kinds of stuff back then. It was like Pulse Bitcoin. Was that the most successful airdrop? So speaking of airdrops, I'm not a big fan of airdrops, but of the most successful, least scammy amount of airdrops, I feel like the Pulse Bitcoin back in the day, that was been like 3 years, was one of the ones where I was like, okay, there's just, there's a thing here. Now, whatever it turned into and whatever it's going on with now, I'm just talking about the airdrop part of it. So there were projects that were even getting built. Some of them launched on Ethereum first and stuff and got copied over. Of course, you get all the Hedron, all that stuff too. Hopefully that's massive and amazing, great for X in the future too. But when we got to PulseChain, when it finally launched and a lot of different products and DeFi stuff was able to be deployed and people interact with and start using, definitely lots of ups and downs, lots of launches and other things that could have went better, scams and stuff in between, and a lot of expectations build up from the different sacrifices. Once there was a sacrifice for PulseChain and PulseX, it was just like, all right, this is the way to distribute coins and fun things in the ecosystem now, which has since mostly went away. There's been, a handful of sacrifices, even this year, I would say, that I've came across, because the model is just, I don't think it's coming back, at least for Richard Hart products, because I think that was for a purpose: accumulate the wealth, do whatever the whale likes to do with it. I'm pretty optimistic about what that is and what it could be, but again, not your money. Literally, the antithesis of sacrifice definition would be that. So when it came to PulseChain, so many things, I mean, it's just been bananas. The transition from the community, from being around mostly a single token and kind of some peripheral, okay, there's some memes here and there's some different other DeFi products and staking, all that stuff, to on PulseChain, there's literally, I'll bring up the site, one of my favorite websites, Go Real DeFi, navigation, and click on projects. That'll take you to pulsecoinlist.com. And that'll show you just the massive amount of stuff. And this is, I'm sure it doesn't even list everything. This is just like, almost 250 different projects on PulseChain, from dexes to things with tokens, things without tokens, analytic sites. Yeah, debank's still there, but one day we might get rebanked. Who knows? And all the different protocols and stuff that have been built on it for all these different reasons. I think it really aligned people to do what is in their best interest. And sometimes it overlaps with everyone's best interest and the chain's interest and all this stuff, and some not. Some protocols are literally like, we're not going to pretend it has utility. It's just the thing you buy and you hope you sell it before everyone leaves. And some things are meant to help, provide yield and be longer term games and actually give you tools to manage your money and things you could kind of investing actual tools for stuff like that. Over time, again, the community's been frustrated one way or another, whether it's been lack of Richard communication, not clear communication, really seeing him as the leader and someone to take either direction from or advice from, or someone who can kind of like show, like put the stamp of this is the right way. Like, here's all the lessons I've taught you, like, keep reinforcing that stuff. It just hasn't been around for a while. And it may never come back. He may never live stream again. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm saying that's okay in my opinion. That's okay. Thanks for the memories. Shout out to Fall Out Boy. That's awesome. Again, I didn't even realize today. I was like, man, has it been 8 years? I literally started following Richard in 2017. Has it literally been 8 years? Way before Hex, when he was Bitcoin Maxi and came across him. If you don't know the story, I was at a party and I was talking to like the one other guy that was in the crypto that I knew at the time, or had even heard about it or did anything with it. He was like, oh, have you heard of the Richard Hart guy? Like, I'm like, Richard Hart? No, who's that? And it was a perfect time. I was looking for, someone to teach me about crypto and stuff, and happened to come across this content and just started getting in. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. And then of course, in the early days, he has this magnetic type of personality, and you find yourself learning things and perfect timing for my introduction to crypto. In those 8 years, I've seen him do things, say things, change his opinion when the facts change. He used to not like Ethereum, then he launched a token on it, all that stuff too. He used to love Bitcoin and think nothing else is better. Now he loves Hex, all that stuff. Over time, one thing that's remained consistent is his I think it's love for longevity, his mission and stuff there. I've talked about that at length before. And his ability to see the bigger picture, to be, 5 steps ahead, to do things to position himself as, a great man and doing great things. A lot of that stuff takes time. And I don't believe he is concerned about if anyone can wait or can't wait with him. I think he's got everything he needs. He's got the resources. He's got the community, the ones that, just are not going to leave and are here to stay type of deal. And regardless of what anyone else thinks, he has the courage and the ability and the almost burden in a way for this type of greatness. And that's what I think drives him. And I say burden as in, it's for anyone who wants to be great. There's some kind of burden. There's not this, it's the phrase from Naval is like, you have the more desires you have, the less happy you're going to be. Like, you got to pick one, desires or happiness. Desire to be great, that takes a lot. And so I'm very thankful to see him and his ideals and things over time. And that is something that has remained consistent. He may change the way he's looked at things. He may change the way that he does things, different strategies. I'm sure he's made mistakes in between. Not that we'll ever know that. Maybe in the 60 Minutes interview, and if he ever sits down for one day, he'll talk about, oh, I wish I did that one better or something. I don't think we're going to hear it anytime soon, if we ever do. But the community seems to take the wrong lessons sometimes. All the different principles you talked about, the core ones, for the most part, have not changed. Delayed gratification. You could talk about like all the different stuff that's in Scivive, all the different ways of, doing the hard thing, and freedoms and real DeFi, all that stuff. Minting millionaires, being able to accumulate wealth. All of those principles have not changed, but the community seems to have taken away a lot of different things that I don't think were intended, or again, just not the right kind of lessons, not the right kind of reactions and responses that will be rewarding in the long term. I don't think. A lot more people start gambling and trading, and because they look at hex staking, like why would you lock it up so you can't sell the next high, like that type of thing. When the implicit the entire assumption on that is you'll actually know when to sell it, and you won't sell too low, and you won't be able to reward yourself in the future for all the different yield mechanisms and T-shares and all that stuff too. Or just having these expectations of like somebody's going to do work for me, and I need to hold them accountable. And if they don't do the work, I'm going to, yell scam, that type of thing. Again, not the right lesson to take away, my opinion. I think setting the timelines, and you could say, hey, we keep moving the goalpost. Oh, and now it's, if not 4-year cycle, 2026, like what's it going to be? 2027, 2028. Yeah. It'll be whatever it's going to be. And complaining about it, or just flooding your own bags, or trying to hurt the ecosystem, it's not going to have the effect that a lot of people think it's going to have. I try to maintain a reputation of being consistent, honest, optimistic, helpful, paying it forward type of thing. Not that I owe anyone anything, and I have no obligation to anyone. But I think that's a much better way to approach the ecosystem, even when there's times where things suck. We got to wait longer. Richard says something you don't like, whatever it is. Being able to see the bigger picture, stick with it, and have something. I think some people just need to distract themselves with. They need to go launch a meme coin. They need to go do a new project like that, whatever it is. I think a lot of these they have the interesting dynamics between being able to find a way to be positive, find a way to be hopeful, find a way to entertain, distract, go build something in the meantime, even whether you believe in PulseChain or Richard's vision or whatever or not. In the beginning, I think, especially with Hex, with a lot of people who were there, many of which still are, it was like this hard thing at first. Where Hex was getting fudded, it went down, there was dumps, big payday, all this stuff. Lawyer stream, all these things going on. And then it got real, like money got cheap, like everything just went straight up and to the right, 10,000x, all that story. And kind of thinking that was going to keep going on forever. And again, having these like, hey, Richard's supposed to do these things for us. He's supposed to represent himself in a certain way. I think that kind of just over and over and over just kind of maybe just soured a lot of people too. But I didn't have that. And I count myself lucky I didn't have that. And a lot of the lessons I've learned over the last few years of seeing everything unfold have been to, again, I think the number one thing, I don't think people really, you hear the words they don't actually sink in. You can't possibly fathom that having an expectation of someone is going to lead to a disappointment if you do not control, if you don't have the control over that person. Especially, none of us control Richard Hart. He's probably one of the most sovereign individuals in existence today. And that's a good thing. I trust his judgment. So over time, when PulseChain happened, I'll get to chat in just a minute. PulseChain happened. A lot of people came from Hex's biggest community, came over to PulseChain. And we grew. I mean, a lot of people kept working on things that are good for Hex. A lot of people started working on other projects that weren't Hex related, but DeFi related. A lot of people started working on meme coins and other types of games and stuff you can play in the ecosystem. That happened. And it was a great thing. And we talked about the whole sub communities. There's literally parts of PulseChain that I don't know anything about. And I haven't met anyone from them. And it's kind of interesting, kind of cool in a way too, where it's like, wow, this place is like bigger than, I don't, if we're going to be a country, I don't think I want to know everyone in it. Right. Like, I don't think it's kind of interesting. It's like, wow, there's all these different places like that. And of course, some of them are more productive than others. Some of them are going to last longer than others. And I never understood this. We talk about building community and welcoming people in. I think I don't know. I feel like the onboarding of everyone onboarded is good. I don't think it's turned out to be so good. I think there's plenty of people. Well, I think there's plenty of people who maybe had good intentions at first and then got disgruntled in some way or didn't like Richard in some way and just said, oh no, I don't want this, I don't want to go buy like his stuff. I want to do my own games and I want to control my own future, even though the whole argument of like controlling your own, there's all these, it's like being a founder is one thing. And okay, now you have all the accountability. So there's like plenty of pros and cons with that too. Oh, I don't want God controlling the network. Well, there's always wells in every network. So again, it's decentralized network. The supply can be centralized on a decentralized network. That's just a trade-off too. But I think a lot of them who came in, I think had good intentions at first. They were hopeful. They had all these things. But then they wanted different things out of it. They thought this thing was going to pop off after launch. It was never going to go back down. We're going to do all these amazing things. And then stuff happens. SEC happened. Interpol happens. Stuff happens. And then, but this whole onboarding people at any cost type of thing, it's kind of like, you're going to a party. It's like, oh, who should we invite to the party? Like, do you want to invite like the violent criminals to the party? Oh, they can pay to get in. They can bring their own beer. They can pay $100 to get in. Like, I don't want the $100. I don't think onboarding every single group into PulseChain when there's some ideal their intentions aren't that good, or I don't think anyone's. It's just one of those things. Only in crypto I could say onboarding at any cost is a great thing. We should onboard everyone, no matter what. The more projects, the better. No matter what they do, the more the better. It's like, okay, well, now we just got extractor stuff, and it just leads to more like those types of scenarios too. Do we want more scams on Pulse? It's like literally, do we want to onboard everyone to PulseChain so we have more scams on PulseChain? And we'll just turn it into, any publicity is good publicity. It's like, I'd like the Google search results to be better than that. I'm just saying. So that's one thing I don't really agree. I don't think the more the projects, no matter what it is, the better. I think the more awesome projects on PulseChain, the better. And I think onboarding focused on that to people which is why, again, I'm not the one who does a lot of this stuff as far as partnerships, community outreach, and all that stuff too. But if I were targeting people to onboard, probably with a lot of my content too, because a lot of it's more technical and stuff like that, I think that targeting smart people who are builders, who like DeFi, and maybe they want to gamble and play some other games too on the PulseChain, is way, way, way more and better in the long term for ROI than onboarding just any community out there, no matter what they are. You need to know about PulseChain. You need to go launch a token. Yeah, sometimes more trouble than it's worth. So PulseChain happened. A lot of people come over. And then there was all these sub communities. Now, what I think has been happening, and I don't know. I could see either way. I could see either this, it could just be macros. I don't expect Richard to make any master moves at any time. I do think, I think there's logical point to be made that there probably is some, I don't want to say master plan, because that sounds like we're all just hoping this guy pumps our bags. Like, no, I don't like that. I don't like to pretend to hold on to that notion. I think we're pumping our own bags with this marketing stuff. I think that's what we should be doing. That's amazing. But if I could see that if there was some will to make any moves, maybe it's just not the right macro environment. Maybe they'll happen when that gets in better shape. Maybe ETH isn't 10K yet. Maybe this is another shakeout. And I think that turnover in the community, and the way that I think it's changing, is there are people who were here at first, maybe have good intentions, and they just may not, they may just leave and they could never come back. Or they could come back and just be like, needed a break. That's cool too. I don't fault anyone for leaving. This is not a game for everyone. This is, I have a real life. Things are going good, and crypto and the internet is a hobby, passion project, something I'm very interested in, and I love the ideas. I want to push them forward, but it is not this, it's not this like means everything to me type of deal. I found a place in PulseChain where I think I want it to succeed. I think I can make a contribution, and my mission is to help us get to the moon, doing it the way that I choose to. Self-sovereignty with a lot of contributions. That's what I want to do. And I think we're changing in a way that once we start onboarding people, once more people keep leaving who have been here for a while, we're having this turnover of and then we're onboarding the newer people through the marketing and a lot of that stuff that literally just kicked off. We just started seeing people post about it not too long ago. You heard the first ones are going out, all that stuff. Start getting a lot of chatter, and there's a ton more work to do. And they got people, what was it? Richard talked about needing volunteers and all that stuff, and the charities going on, and for the next, what do you say, till Christmas or something like that, whatever it was. Could go into next year. Who knows? Who knows? I'm sure there's plenty of commentary about that's been talked about. That kind of thing, that kind of motivating factor, and the reason why you're here, and the reason people are volunteering and making sure they're trying to make a contribution, I think that core is going to stay intact. I think there are a core of, call them RHMaxies, maxi-ishes, maximalish, who are just not going to give up. And that is encouraging, inspiring. Some people may call it delusional. I call it being loyal and intelligent. There's a certain IQ that comes with being able to see something that you want, understand what it's about, and then doing whatever it takes to execute on it. That's some kind of IQ points on that too. Doesn't mean people are dumb. It just means that once you see this type of thing that is actually real and not just some conspiracy and all this stuff, once you see Richard's mission, vision, what PulseChain is supposed to be, the opportunity we have here, again, when the stars align, and I believe they will, that is going to be the core. That's going to be the new core, what I think of PulseChain. And Hex I'm not sure what's going to happen. Hex is my favorite token. I think Hexkin will be much more of there'll be new Hexkins coming in. It'll be a core pillar of the PulseChain ecosystem. But I don't think everyone who's a, Pulsekin is a hexagon type of deal. And you don't need to be either. And that's where the values kind of like, they're kind of, oscillate, right? Like some people come from like hex background where it's like, hey, these are the principles. We like true DeFi. We like no admin keys, all this stuff. And then some come in the PulseChain and be like, no, this place is like the mecca of DeFi, like the innovation playground, faster, cheaper fees. I can do all this stuff. I can launch my own tokens. I can build a new community. I could build a new sub community within the community. And that's going to be there too. And that's important. So I think the core is going to remain intact. A lot of people are going to be shaken out. Some may come back, some may not. And moving forward, we're going to have a lot more people to educate, to inspire, to collaborate with. I want to hear some new stories. I'm excited to see some, like, I came into PulseChain 2025 stories. I want to see that. 2024, 2025, 2026. I want to hear those stories, those good stories of like, I came in, this place looks totally underrated. I saw the opportunity. I made some friends. Hopefully they meet the right people. And, I was kind of like brought along as this, hey, future leaders of the community type of thing. So I think we'll see some new leaders, some new, popular people emerge over time. But the core, I think, is healthy. And I don't care if another 100 people leave that you thought were like hardcore people. I think there'll be just as many who stick around, and they got that thing they got that special thing to share, and they want to make sure this place succeeds. And it's great. I'm very hopeful about that. So I wouldn't worry. Yeah, that's why I'm not worried about people leaving. All this FUD. A lot of it, red candle syndrome. Our core is still intact. I think the community is changing, and we're getting ready for new people to come in. So I'm very excited about that. All right, give me a second. I've talked for 30 minutes, and I'm gonna have a drink real quick, and I'll come back and talk to chat. Alan says Bitcoin Hex. Bitcoin Hex, pretty cool. That was Hex's original name. When the website too, was it bitcoinhex.com? Something like that. Bitcoinhex.win. I can't remember. That's been a while. That's been like 6 years. All right, sorry, I can't get to all the ones in the chat. Hello, everyone who I don't post content to. What's up, Jacob? How to fix bridge? Connect. Yeah, I don't know why the bridge is taking so long. So PulseChain bridge, some people can use it, some people can't. It's a wallet connect issue. Hopefully there'll be a new version of the bridge. I talked about this yesterday's stream. Hopefully there'll be a new version of the bridge you can click on and connect to soon. So until then, check out Liberty Swap. So drop the link in the chat for Go Real DeFi. Go Real DeFi. If you go to Pi Crypto and click PLS, it'll take you to libertyswap.finance, or you can just type it in yourself as well. Got a cute little thing here. Love the swirls. And you can go from Base, you can go from other chains, all that stuff. So if you want to bridge over to PulseChain, you got a lot of great community size to help you too. Liberty Swap being a very, very popular one. Richard waiting for Richard's waiting for ETH. Gonna have a great Q4, brother. Yeah, I could totally see that. I could see it being a great Q4, a great Q1, a great Q2, somewhere in there. Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. So who knows what we're going to see, but boy, have we been speculating on it for quite a while. And if I start seeing some $1 million clips, or probably wouldn't be $1 million, probably like, what was the previous clips, 50K clips and all that stuff coming in. Never know. We got everything we need. Marketing, we just need people to know about it. There's the marketing. It seems like the match is almost struck. Hey, Tim, how's it going? Speaking of being positive, appreciate all your positivity and out there starting new spaces and all that stuff too. So awesome. Hey, Pesky Girl, how's it going? Yeah, Tim's awesome. Mr. 94 Hairflow, the calm before the storm. This is my first bull market. I found Arch's videos 2022 and beat DCA since then. I still have it. Awesome, man. That's great to hear. May you have the maddest of gains in this bull run. Very excited. Excited to see all the amazing thank you ecosystem. Thank you, RH. Thank you, all the people. You know, that's something you can't buy. You can't buy a sincere thank you from people that believe you've helped them you know, get rich or make better choices or whatever it is. So it's awesome. I don't give financial advice on this channel. So, but thank you for streaming will be, that's fine too. Nobody with the brain was shook out. I don't know. I don't even look at it as that. I think people have their reasons for doing whatever they do. So I wish them all the best. Five-minute chart. Sentiment needs to change soon to we're cooked. I don't think so. I'm going to disagree with anything needs to change or we're cooked because, yeah, does it feel good for sentiment to be trending in the right direction? Absolutely. But that's kind of I think sentiment's an interesting one where it can flip on a dime. I think the red candle syndrome, if we start seeing some green candles, some, new platform launches, we get a bunch more volume into PulseChain, whatever it is, I think it could change pretty quickly. Now, so I don't even know what it would take for PulseChain to be cooked. I don't know. I'm trying to think. What would be like the worst thing? I don't know. Like, the first thing probably people are thinking is, oh, Richard doesn't tweet for like 6 months. Well, that would suck. But major exploit in PulseChain, the ETH 2.0 protocol, which PulseChain is forked from. The bridge gets hacked. I don't know. A bunch of imaginary horribles out there. But I'm thinking we're in good shape. So those are the cook scenarios, none of which I think have any chance of actually happening. So it should be fine. My opinion. I'm not leaving. What's up, Jonathan? Me neither. That's awesome. Rocket Mom said, the dark war of being defensive and arrogance may be RH's Achilles heel. Are you referring to his recent tweets? I did a poll on this. I was like, I don't even want him to acknowledge it, but I think he's sometimes he feels like he needs to talk to the community. So he does. Yeah, I would say the community is kind of making him do that. So it's fun enough. The power is in the community to not annoy him. So I don't know. I don't think there's any, I think he's earned the right to be arrogant. And is this helping onboard people to PulseChain? No, it's definitely not meant to onboard people to PulseChain. It's meant to talk to the community and be like, hey, if you don't want me to turn replies off, you want me to engage the community and not be blocked, then say better stuff. But yeah, where's my poll? I did. I was like, would you rather him spend time doing that? Let's see. Yeah, match stage, your lucky day. You get to choose what Richard Hart does next, but there's a catch. It can only be one of the two options: positive onboarding post or community complaint thread. Yeah, I would prefer. to not see more of that. But then again, he's for a reason, right? So hopefully the community will say nicer things. Freeman, I still have hope and trust that Richard will have a bigger plan in motion, but we definitely need to pause as soon at least second. Well, I don't know. I don't think we need, because as soon as I feel like need is the precursor to expectation, and needing things. I mean, again, it's fine to speculate on things that would be good for the chain, but when I say we need, if I you don't hear me say we need stuff very much, if at all, but if when I say, if I were to say we need something, I probably avoid saying it because I don't know everything. I don't know, if there is, if whales do have plans to kick off this or that. If somebody's building a brand new protocol out there that's just going to massively blow up PulseChain for onboarding, all these things, it's kind of like a lot of times, the need seems like something at the time, but really, again, I don't know what is sack level. I've totally dismissed even thinking about sack level. There's a PulseChain price to me, and I know, again, everyone out there, feel free to go by sack level, all that stuff. I don't think we need to get to sack level before things start popping. When I look at the price, what is Pulse right now? 304, I want to say. If it gets higher, if it does a 2 or 3 or 5x, that's like kind of the framing I'm thinking of going forward. Because new people don't care about sack price. New people just care about how many X's has it done recently. So I think getting to sack, when I think about we need to get to sack level for sentiment, to me that means the community wants to see green candles so they can sell or feel better about their investment and be hopeful. But I gotta say, the new people coming in, they haven't been through all this stuff. They just want to find something good and buy it, hold it, and talk about it with the community. So if we're talking to new people out there, I think X's does a trick. Green candles does a trick. That's the good marketing. Because there's a lot more people not in PulseChain yet that could be, instead of people who are in. I love the community. I talk to you guys all the time. But I think the new people, we need to be ready for the new people coming in who could care less about sacrifice, even though it means a lot to us, or it meant to, overall as a community. To me, the sacrifice was something that happened, and I got coins. Everybody got coins from it, and now let's go do 10,000x. I try not. I don't think about sack too much. Otherwise, miss bull. Yeah, I don't think there's very many things that will make us miss the bull. Like, there's no way we miss. Richard's just like, well, I guess enough people didn't buy, and he'll just keep tweeting about privacy, for the next couple of years. I can't. I do not see that. But yeah, it's nice to have to get some X's. Are you losing faith, Max? I am absolutely not losing faith. Do I sound positive or negative? I feel like I sound trying to be positive and unlifting here. We could use some fresh air. Outside's good for that. Outside, touch grass, touch sand, touch water, beaches, touch some, have good friends, good relationships. If I'm doing that, give a better apology, all that stuff. All the Richard Hart, Scivive stuff too. Stop gambling. Stop playing video games. All the good stuff. Wind Moon, patiently waiting. I'm with you, man. I am on this. I'm waiting with you. But wait, there are tablets. Tablets. Didn't that tablet? How much did it go for? Did it go for like $2,000 or something? All right, I gotta wrap up here in a second. I got paid every day for the last 4 years. Those past 4 years. They're about hex staking yield. I mean, a lot of people again who have staked Man, I'm excited. If we do start seeing dollar level hex, $1, $3, $5, those payouts are in hex terms, even at the lower percentages, are going to look a lot more juicy. Imagine hope. Imagine having green candle syndrome and a high hex price. Whew. Oh. I'm gonna bring out the McLaren for that one. Oh, look at the McLaren. Oh, I thought it was a Lambo at first, but I was corrected in chat. Chat had a great comment the other day. I thought this was a Lambo. It's McLaren. McLaren Elba. Look at that. Beautiful car. Beautiful car. Thank you, Pescuro. Appreciate that. All right. Street Guru, no more gains talk at Tweak. You're talking about like not talking about like 10,000x. I'm bringing back 10,000x a lot. I think that's I think it's good for, I think talking about mad gains is good for a lot of things. I'll switch back to the ecosystem map here. I think it's good for people to remember what Hex did. History doesn't often repeat, doesn't always repeat, but it rhymes type of thing. There's no reason why we can't do a 10,000x. I think people are attracted to the opportunity to make a lot of money. I think I think literally this is like a sentiment in the community is like, oh, I just want a 10x. I don't know. I only want a 10x. I think that's, I could see some people who only want a 10x. That's code word for only want, sack price. So I can sell. I only want a 2x so I can leave and go buy Solana or something. But I think it's great. I mean, literally a lot of the engagement comes from talking about price. And when the price goes up, it's a lot more fun to talk about the price. So I can talk about the tech, I can talk about the price, I can talk about a lot of different things, but I think it feels less compelling in our community because we've been waiting so long and we haven't seen those kind of exits for a long time, but I don't think it'll always be that way. And again, if you're trying to onboard new people, they tend to be interested in things where they could make more money. So, all right. Thank you very much. Personally, Jim Corsi, I personally think RH is waiting for pumped up trash to leave. I think charts are on the way because of crappy people. Yeah, that is not as a reasonable theory. It is the shakeout, right? Like the people who are dumping leave. All the legal FUD is kind of playing into getting people who get non-believers out type of thing, I guess. But I mean, could not be in the same way, but certainly helps for there be less people selling on the way up. Red is the candle of the chain. Ooh, for now, there's some green from time to time, but again, once it flips green, I would like to capture those gains. Not a lot of people captured even 100x for Hex last time, let alone 1,000x or 10,000x. I would like to be well positioned for this bull market. The Chad of Donner Swans has entered the chat. How's it going, Chad? Hashtag replay gang. We're about to wrap up. Good to see you. All right. I think that is all we got for today. Hope you're all doing well. Stay whatever you're doing out there. Hopefully if you're staying the course, if you're thinking about leaving, best of luck either way. But I'm thinking we got a shot. That's all I got for you today. Scivive 5555. We are out.